Hi guys, welcome to Everything About Life. Today I'm going to show you how to make homemade samosa strips. So let's get straight to it. Okay, ingredients required are 4 cups of cake flour. As you can see, I'm using a medium teacup, which I think is a good size. So we're going to use 4 cups of cake flour. I'm going to put that in for you. 1 cup. There you go. That's your second cup. That's 2 cups. Cup number 3. There you go. And finally, our 4th cup. There you go. That's in this. We would require is salt. Amount required would be 2 flat teaspoon of salt. So I'm going to leave this one side, and next ingredient we would require is water. So we're going to be using around 3 to 4 cups of water, or as required. You might need a little more, so you're going to be using water as required. So I'm going to leave this one side, and then we're going to go straight to the method of making the dough. This is normal tap water. We have our 4 cups of flour here. Very important, make sure you wash your hands before you start doughing. Yes, we got the 4 cups of flour in there. So now I'm going to add my two, I don't want to get extra salt in there. So as you can see, 2, this is the first level teaspoon that I'm going to put in there. Then we're going to do 2, oops, a little salt fell in there, so I'm going to put a little less here. There you can see spoon number 2, we got our salt in there. So now I'm just going to mix this up together. There you go, we got the salt mixed in with the flour, and now I'm going to be adding in the water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the flour aside and make like a hole in the center. There you go. So now I'm going to be pouring in the water to make our dough. So let's put in the water. Okay, we're going to stop there, and we're going to bring the flour to the water. As you can see, I'm bringing the flour to the water. To get all the dry flour to the water. Right, as you can see, there's still a lot of dry flour here, which means that we would require a little more water. There's the water going in, not too much. I think that should do it. I'm going to bring it together. And we're going to start squeezing it. To get all the dry flour in. It's going to stick to your hands, but that will come off by adding dry flour. As you can see, I've brought everything together. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this dough and I'm going to put it on the table, and I'm going to dough it. Okay, as you can see here, I have dry flour. You need to have a container of dry flour because we will be using this throughout the entire process. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some dry flour, I'm going to move the bowl aside, put some dry flour down. The reason for this is so the dough don't stick to the table. So there you go, there's our dough down there. I'm going to put this one side, and then I'm going to start to dough. Get your hands in there, try and twist it, tear it with your fist, knead it nicely. Get your hands dirty, and let's dough. And let's dough. Look at that. Look at that dough forming. Nice soft dough, not too stiff, not too soft, but nice workable dough. Look at that beautiful dough. Knead it nicely. We don't want no dry flour in there. And there you go. As simple as that. There's our beautiful dough. Not too hard, not too soft, just right. So I'm going to put down some dry flour, and I'm going to leave that there. Okay, so there's our dough. So the next step I'm going to do is I am going to roll it out. I'm going to make it into a long strip, round strip obviously, like the way I'm doing it. If you want to make it easier, you can take a knife and you can cut it in the center. So you've got two halves. You take that half there, leave it one side. You work with this half so it's more workable. And let's roll this out. Okay, there you go. I've got this one rolled out. So now I'm going to cut them into small pieces. Maybe leave it there so you can see. There you go. 2, 3. You just want to tap it slightly so it comes together. Small extra piece there, you can cut that off. You want your pieces more or less the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some dry flour here. Just sprinkle some dry flour. I'm going to take my cut pieces and I'm just going to leave them there. So I'm going to work on my next piece. The small extra piece that I took off there, I'm going to put it back there, and let's roll this. There you go, this is ready. Let's cut. Tap it slightly so it gets together. I've got a small piece left, so I'm going to cut this into smaller pieces. 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to join this one there. Join him there. Join him there. Join him there. Join him there. And I'm going to leave it there next to the other one. Right, now next step, I'm going to put down some dry flour and I'm going to make these into balls. So it's simple, you just roll them out a bit and you press them down. Other side, you press them down. As you can see, nice round ball, like a mini roti. Leave that one side. Next one, same thing. Easy. Next one, down, done. Next one, down. Next one, same thing. Okay, as you can see, I've turned all these small pieces into nice small rotis. So now I'm going to start to roll them into bigger rotis. So what I need to do is I need to get them out of the way. So like I said, you're going to be needing dry flour throughout this process. So I have my dry flour close by me, so I'm going to spread them around the table here, and then I'm going to remove these small rotis and just keep them one side there. on top of the flour so they don't stick to the table. There you go. So I'm going to leave one here. I'm going to start rolling. So what you want to do is first you just want to press down the roti just like that. Make it nice and round. If you can't get it round, it's not a problem. And then I got some dry flour here. I want to keep next to me. That I'm going to use for rolling. And then obviously you would require a rolling pin. Like you can see, I've got a nice old rolling pin here, old school. So let's start rolling. Nice and easy. You want to turn the roti, like you can see now the roti stuck there. So you just pick it up, put a little dry flour there, turn him around. If you want to, you can put a little dry flour on top so it doesn't stick to the rolling pin or the table, and you roll. In a turning motion, you should get your rotis more or less round. You don't want to roll them too big. There you go. This is my first roti. I'm going to lay that down right there. Next roti. Same thing. Press it down nicely. Try and get it more or less round. Some dry flour down. Some dry flour on top. And let's go. Go. My second roti. Okay guys, my rotis have all been rolled out. One thing to keep in mind is to please try and roll your rotis more or less the same size. And I've got 10 rotis here. So now into the oiling process. We need to layer 5 rotis on top of each other. So in that way we have an even number. We have 10 rotis. So we're going to layer 5 rotis on top of each other. So let's start the oiling process. I'm just going to take these rotis that are here in front and keep them aside. As you can see, there's my oil. Now a lot of people use a brush to apply oil. That's fine, you can do that, but so what happens in some cases is the oil doesn't go everywhere. So what I do is I get my hands dirty. I'm going to get my hands in that oil and I'm going to be using my hands to do my oiling. Get your hands dirty so your hand can get the oil everywhere. Make sure the ends of your roti is oiled. If it's not, you're going to have problems when you're going to be opening strips. So it's oiled everywhere, nice and oily. Please do not feel shy to apply oil. Okay, first roti is oiled. My next roti on top of that one. Make sure they're nice and lined up. Get your hands dirty in the oil. There you go. You don't want to press too hard because your roti will start to slide. So you just want to be gentle. Make sure your sides are all oiled properly. Get our next roti, third roti. Stretch it out so they're all uneven. Get your hands dirty again. There you go. Put that oil in there. Don't be shy to put oil. Third roti. This is number 4. Same thing. and your last roti. This is the 5th roti. Now obviously you don't oil the 5th roti. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some dry flour on the table again, and I'm going to put this one side. Oil the next batch. There you go. My rotis have all been oiled, and I call them big rotis. Now I have 2 big rotis, and the next process is I'm gonna roll out these big rotis. So what I'm gonna do again is put some dry flour down, and I'm gonna take my big roti. Before I start rolling it, I'm gonna press it down so we can keep it together so it doesn't slide away. Just like that. Turn it around again. Press it down. Okay, now I'm ready for rolling. So I'm going to apply some dry flour on top of that. Flour on the other side. There you go, my big roti is rolled out, nice and even. All the ends are all pressed down so we don't get hard corners when we toast the strips. So what I'm going to do is, I've made a measurement here. As you can see, I used a cereal box and I cut it out into an even size. So you get nice even samosas. So the first thing I'm going to do here is, before I cut them into strips, is I'm going to take off the ends so we can get a nice square . Keep the corners one side, and now I'm going to cut the strips. Go for strip. Strip. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Leave this one side. Okay guys, my 2 big rotis have been rolled out. As you can see, I've cut them into nice neat square strips. I've tried my best to keep it square so it's easy when you're filling. So now comes the toasting part. As you can see, I have a oven tray here. So we're going to be toasting the strips in the oven. So I'm going to put them in the oven tray. One there. This is a slight tip for moving your strips from the table to the tray, is fold them 1, 2, and then you pick them up and put them into your hand. And then when you get to the tray, pull it out this way, pull it out that way. That way you don't damage the strips. So we have our 3 strips there, ready for the oven. And then what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put some oil in the center of the strips, As you can see, I have oil in the center of the strips. This area where I have applied the oil will rise in the oven, letting you know that you need to turn your strips over. I put my strips into the oven, which has been preheated at 180 degrees at least half an hour before I can. Guys, as you can see, the oil part has risen, which means I need to turn it over. Please be very careful, it's very hot, so you don't get burnt, you don't burn your fingers. Do it very quickly. Next one there. Be very careful. And in you go. Go. As you can see, the other side has risen as well, which means the strips are now ready. The strips have all been toasted, so now I'm going to move on and show you how we separate the strips. So what you want to do is, you want to start in the center. Let me turn this around. There you go, very gently. You can see it's coming off quite easy. That's because you must not feel shy with the oil. And then let's start separating. As you can see, there you go, nice and easy. Beautiful homemade pulp. Nice and flexible, nice and strong, the real deal. As you can see, I have separated all the strips. Now what you want to do is, a tip is to please cover it or keep it wrapped up in a damp cloth, like what I'm doing here. That will keep your pulp or your strips nice and moist, and it won't dry out. Guys, this is my first video. Look out for my second video coming soon on how to make samosa fillings. That will be part 2 of this video. Peace out.